Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to get an S rank on the Ground Zeroes main op in hard difficulty. We're going to start by skipping the cinema scene. Cinema scenes do add to your time, so be sure to skip any and all of them. Start off by running along this cliffside here, very slowly edging along until the searchlight decides that it's ready to point the opposite direction. We're going to scale the wall over here, and we're going to run around to the left. Don't mind the guard to your left, he won't hurt you, it's not a huge deal. We're going to drop down this cliffside over here and then cut through these boxes and these little dividers. Across the street and into these tents here. There's two sentries, one on the right, one on the left. Take down both of them. I'm sorry, my aim's a little bad, so bear with me here. Then we're going to cut through, wait on this Jeep, and then there's another sentry right in the path of where you need to go. This shot's a little difficult because of the distance. Try to aim the center pin of the gun a little higher so that way it's covering the enemy's head. And you should be able to take him down without really a lot of effort. So go ahead and move up here, and we're going to stick to the right. There's another sentry beyond the fence. He will turn and look in your direction, as you will see by my minor mistake here. And that's going to cost me some time, so I'm just going to slow down here a little bit. Wait for him to decide that he hasn't seen me, and hopefully after that we'll continue on. That is a huge problem with this game. Well, not so much a problem as I guess suppose a feature, is that you can't quite gauge field of vision from sentries, so should make speedrunning future missions interesting. Gonna hold him up, take him down, and call the helicopter for extraction right before we go get Chico. Move along the right side here. Chico's cage is the last one at the very front of the camp. Skip this cinema scene. Keep in mind we've already called the chopper, so we don't have to do that. And there's a sentry that's going to come up to the front gate here to answer the cries of the other prisoners. As soon as he opens the gate, drop him, move up. There's a little drop down here, so you can run down here, take note of the sentry that's to your left. There's two of them. If you're quick about it, you can slip through without them noticing you. And we're going to continue along this cliffside up to the RV. And wait for Morpho to show up. Unfortunately, there's really not much that you can do to reduce the amount of time that it takes. That's why it's good to call Morpho in advance, because it can take anywhere up from about 30 seconds to a minute for him to show up, and then his landing animation is rather long. So once Morpho comes down here, we're going to go ahead and throw Chico on the helicopter. And keep in mind that after you do put him on the helicopter, he drops a tape, and that initiates a cinema scene, so go ahead and skip that. And I'm going to go ahead and put on some of the music that's on my Walkman, because quite frankly, I am so tired of hearing that Chico tape that it's worth the extra second deficit. So we're going to scale this wall here, and we're going to follow up to the right side. There's two sentries to your left, so mind them and crouch here. Otherwise, they'll hear you running, and that will just start crap that you don't particularly want to deal with. We're going to move up to the truck here. There's a sentry that's on the other side of it. He'll look out to the left, but he won't actually turn and look at you as long as you mind your business and kind of stay out of his way. And as soon as he goes back, we'll climb into the truck and ride in the back. Excuse me. But climb into the truck, and alternatively, you can actually stun this guard and take the truck for yourself and drive it up to the compound, but it's about a 50-50 chance as to whether or not the guards will notice that it's actually you driving. So really, in actual reality, unless you're a massive fan of playing this mission over and over to get that perfect run, it's really just not worth it. So we're going to lay in the back of the truck until it gets us a little close to about halfway to the compound. We'll chill here and listen to Heavens Divide, which is one of my favorite songs from the series. It's about here that you'll look back and take a note that there's a sentry that you will be passing while you're riding in the truck. So go ahead and jump off after you've seen that he's not looking at you, and we're going to go over to this little cranny right here and crouch down and move forward. There's a ventilation duct on the other side that you can crouch and drop down into, and then crawl and go through. And for sanity and speedrunner's sake, I really hope there's an option to disable the repetitive dialogue for all future calls in the Phantom Pain. So we're going to jump up here, and we're going to move along this wall. And the door to get inside the admin building will be to your right. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the rhythm for walking up to this sentry is beyond this box right here, but go slow, hold him up, take him down. You've got a security camera here, which I almost flubbed and almost got caught by. That almost ended my run right there. So be mindful of it. Don't go sprinting down these stairs, otherwise there are 2 sentries down there. They will hear you sprinting, and that will therefore end your run because you'll be triggered into reflex. Or they might even actually catch you. Either way, it's just bad news. So be a little slow about coming down. Try to be quiet, so that way you can just slip past them and get to pause without any drama. Pause's cage is up here on the left. Go ahead and let her out. Skip the cinema scene. And now is a good time to call the helicopter. You're going to call the helicopter to where you were originally dropped in at the beginning of the mission, just because that route is the path of least resistance. And unfortunately, on this particular playthrough, I did come across this guard in the middle of a conversation with the other sentry, which is kind of a disappointment, but that's okay. Just kind of give it a second and wait for them to stop chatting, and then go ahead and stun him and take him down. There is a sentry to the left, as you know, because they were having a conversation, but go ahead and move past. He's got his back to you. You'll be fine. Mind the camera. Go up the stairs. There's a sentry at the very end through the door that you came to get into the admin building. Go ahead and take him down. Again, keep the center pin high on their head. That way you can not waste ammunition and make your shots count. And keep in mind, since we've already called Morpho, the helicopter's on its way, so not much else needs to be done. Just stick to this right wall and try not to go too far out, and you should be okay. There is a guard right above you, right here, that's manning the searchlight that will catch you if you try to leave without taking him out. So go ahead and spend some of those tranq rounds you've been saving and get it done. There are also 2 sentries to your right. The only one that's a real threat is the one that I'm aiming at currently. The other one can't quite see you, so you should be able to slip past without any issue. And then after that, you can cut through this little divider over here, the cut in the fence. I'm taking my time because I admittedly do not know this particular part of the run that well. And we're going to go in between these buildings. There will be a guard on your right up here. Really easy pickings. The last 2 guards have their backs to you, so they're really not quite that much of a big deal. And then you've got, last but not least, 1 more guard in the little sentry tower that's to your right. Further up ahead, up here. Take him down, and go on about your day. Pick the lock to get in through the fence over here. And we'll hop on the chopper with Morpho, and hopefully we'll come out of this with an S rank. Go ahead and board the chopper. And that is how you get through the Ground Zero's main op with no kills, no reflex, and generally no drama. So, ideally, if you can do this, you can S rank it with no issue. The total play time for this mission is just under 10 minutes, which, considering that I took my time, that's actually really good. And this mission is regarded as by many to be one of the most frustrating ones to S rank. So if you can follow this walkthrough, you should be fine. Thanks for watching.